Hi, Books and Jammies. My name's Mindy Melton. I'm the author of the Daffodil series, Daffodil and the Birthday Surprise, and Daffodil and the Camping Trip, which is my latest release. Today, I am going to be reading to you Daffodil and the Camping Trip. What do you say, Daffodil? Let's do it. Daffodil and the Camping Trip by Mindy Melton. That's me. Daffodil, time to go, yelled Mom from the front door. Be right there, she called, packing her backpack with all of her favorite things. She noticed her camera was missing. With no time to look for it, there was only one thing to do. With a whoosh and a swoosh of her rainbow-colored hair, she now had a new one. There, she thought, I've got everything I need. Now she was ready to go. Daffodil was quite unique, you see. She was born with rainbow-colored hair, magic rainbow-colored hair to be exact, and today she was going on her first ever camping trip. Are we going to see any bears while we're camping, Dad? She questioned. No, Daffodil, I don't think there will be any bears, he replied. Will there be any kids to play with? Will there be a fishing pond? Will we get to eat s'mores? Daffodil was bursting at the seams with excitement. She couldn't wait to get there. Pulling up to the Great Wilderness Campground, Daffodil zoomed out of the car to have a look around. Look, we have a fire pit. And look over there at all the pine cones, she happily yelled. Daffodil just knew she was going to have so much fun on her first ever camping trip. Do you remember your first ever camping trip? I remember mine. I think I was 3 at the time. Won't the tent fall down when we're sleeping, Dad? She asked, feeling a bit worried. No, it won't fall. Look, I'll show you, he said with a smirk. Once each pole is in place, you stake it down. Here, hold this side while I go get the hammer. As she waited, she noticed a bunch of acorns falling from a nearby tree. A small squirrel ran down the trunk after them. What happened, squirrel? She hollered. All my acorns fell from the tree, and I'm not sure I can get them all back up on my own. Don't worry, I can help you, Daffodil replied. With a whoosh and a swoosh of her red hair, the squirrel had all his acorns safely back in his tree. Thank you, he said gracefully. Smiling, she waited for her dad to stake down the tent. Daffodil was ready to explore. Grabbing her basket and her hat, she set out on her way into the great wilderness. Up ahead, she noticed big paw prints. Wondering who they belonged to, she followed them until they ended at a bush full of red berries. Just then, she heard a grumbling voice of a hungry grizzly bear say, These berries aren't ready to be picked, and I am hungry for a snack. Thinking Daffodil knew just what to do. Don't you worry, Mr. Grizzly Bear. I can help you ripen these berries right up, with a whoosh and a swoosh of her orange hair. The bushes were covered with big, juicy berries. As the bear dug in, Daffodil put some in her basket to take back to her mom and dad. Feeling a little hungry herself, Daffodil headed back to camp. As she bent down to open the cooler's lid, out jumped a raccoon. What were you doing in there? Startled Daffodil asked. You see, I was just a little bit hungry, but when I opened the lid, I fell in and I couldn't get out, he replied frightfully. Feeling sorry for the scared little guy, Daffodil decided to give him a little treat. With a whoosh and swoosh of her yellow hair, the raccoon now had a pile of tasty treats to take back. After eating her own tasty treat, Daffodil thought she would do a little more exploring. Just as she was about to take a picture of a ladybug, she heard the sound of laughter. Excited to meet new friends, Daffodil went over to say hi. We were just about to go fishing. Would you like to come? They asked. Daffodil responded excitingly. Oh, yes, I've never been fishing before. As they arrived at a small pond, Daffodil noticed a beaver having trouble with his dam. What's the trouble, Beaver? She asked. I can't seem to get my dam to hold, he said. She smiled at him and replied, Let's see what I can do, with a whoosh and swoosh of her green hair. The beaver had logs piled high. While he splashed around the water, Daffodil caught the biggest fish. Dropping off her fishing pole and tackle box, she decided now was the perfect time for a bike ride. As she headed up the small hill, she heard a sound. Concerned, she spotted a fox up ahead. Are you okay? She asked. The tree up ahead is my home and it fell down. It's now blocking the bike path, the fox cried. Wanting to help, Daffodil told him that she had an idea. With the whoosh and swoosh of her blue hair, the tree the little fox lived in was standing big and tall once again. Since it was getting dark, Daffodil pulled out her flashlight and headed back for camp. Helping her dad set up the campfire, Daffodil was excited to make her very first s'more. Do you remember doing that? I love s'mores. While roasting her marshmallow, she noticed squirrel, bear, raccoon, beaver, and fox watching from the trees. Feeling grateful she was able to help all of them today, she decided to do one more thing before heading to bed. With a whoosh and swoosh of her purple hair, The dark sky was now filled with millions of sparkling stars. Smiling to herself, she took a big bite of her gooey s'more. Wow, I had no idea s'mores could be this good. She told her parents she ended up eating 2. I could eat 2. They're so good. Tired from a full day of adventure, Daffodil lay in her sleeping bag and thought about all her first things she did while on her camping trip. She couldn't wait to see what adventure came next. One thing she knew, that she loved camping. And the tent wasn't so bad either. And at the very end of the book are all the pictures that our Daffodil took while camping. The end. Thank you so much for following along with me today. And if you want to see more of Daffodil, don't forget to check out Daffodil and the Birthday Surprise. Thanks so much, little readers. See you next time.